Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be doing a road trip. We're going up to Tahoe, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Hey guys, so like I mentioned, we're going up to Tahoe, so this, from our place, it's about 190 miles to State Line's supercharger up there. We're not staying there, but we're gonna, go up to the cabin we're staying at, and that's about 8 miles away. So I charged this morning at work to about 95%. So right now I'm at 243 miles, so kind of still around 95, 92%, whatever it is. I'm going to be using a better route planner to go up to, go to plan this trip out, is what I used. It's telling me that I need to stop in Folsom to get some charge before we go up to Tahoe, because basically from the Folsom area up to South Tahoe is like 7,000 feet worth of elevation. So you're going to need a lot of charge as you're going uphill. So that's what a better route planner is saying. I'm also going to use the navigation in the car. And right now, since I said, Tahoe is about 190 miles from here, by mileage, it's saying I can get there, but I don't know if it's calculating the elevation as well. So right now it just says, like when you look at the screen, you see the superchargers, it says that the supercharger at State Line, Nevada, I can get to. It's not like blanked out. So we'll see how that goes. And here we go with the road trip. Alright guys, so we made it to Folsom. Better Route Planner said I was supposed to be at 28%, so I'm at 50, so not feeling so hot about this site right now. But anyways, it said that I need to charge up to like 71. I'm going to do a little bit more actually just to be safe. So let's see how long it takes. On the website it said 18 minutes, but that was at 29%, so I'm thinking maybe like 10 minutes or so. So let's see what happens. So as you can see, Folsom's, this one is basically in a parking lot. There's a big plaza outside. It's like a big mall with a ton of shops and a ton of restaurants. So, it makes sense. These are the normal superchargers, 150 kilowatt power. So pretty good. The only problem is when I look at the actual charger, it's going at like, okay, it's going a little bit faster now. It's going like 54, was going a whole lot of, oh, see, 24. That's not good. So I think it's because basically every one of these is taken up. I think there's only one or two that are open right now. I think this is a 12 stall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no, only 10. Only 10 stall station. So there's, I guess, can't handle the power, and there's too many people right now, so it's not good. I mean, it's gonna delay how long it's gonna take to charge up to the 71% and more, but we'll see how long it takes. All right, so we're at 71% now. If I do the navigate all the way to State Line, which is where we're going, in South Tahoe, it's saying I can get there and I'm gonna have 25%. So I'm gonna trust that, even though a better route planner said I'd have 10% at this point with 71%. We've been charging for about 17 minutes, so it's good enough for me. We're gonna get going, so on with the trip. And just one more thing. Right now it says we have 185 miles. South Tahoe, that State Line supercharger is like 90 miles away. So of course we have way more, but we also have to go up 7,000 feet of elevation. So that's where the extra energy is going to go. So let's see how close we get to whatever 25% of the battery is, and see how accurate that is. All right, so we finally made it to our destination. Not too bad, 348 watt hours per mile, going up 7,000 feet of elevation. I think it was so I have 74 miles left, which is closer to the 27% that that the map was saying. as opposed to a Better Route Planner that said if I did 71%, I would be down at 10%, so that's not even close. One caveat is, though, we're about 8 miles from state line, so if you still take that into effect, we're probably about 20%, maybe a little more. I don't know, I didn't do the math, but something around that area. So anyways, it seems like the Tesla map is more trusty than a Better Route Planner at this point. Anyways, so that's basically it for now. We're gonna go probably hiking tomorrow and stuff, so there'll be some cool clips of that, so stay tuned for that. All right, so we finally made it to State Line, Nevada. So this charging station is 14 stalls, I think. And this one is doing much better. So I already started charging. And right now we're going about 117 kilowatts power, which is way better. So it should only take me about 15 minutes to get to full charge, which is good. And then when we leave tomorrow, we'll be ready to go and we should be able to make it all the way back home. So this particular station is at the Hard Rock Cafe and Hotel here in State Line. So big old casino. So we're gonna go head in there and probably gamble a little bit or walk around State Line, this area between Nevada and California, and just hang out and see what's around. So I hope you guys had a good time watching what we did in South Tahoe. So I also wanted to talk about some tips and things I learned during this road trip. So I'm going to start with the things I learned first. So as you saw in the video, a Better Route Planner told me that I was going to have 28% when I got to Folsom. And when we actually got there, I had about 50%. And so basically what I did is I actually I recalculated in a Better Route Planner after using basically a closer watt hour per mile that I actually got, because I actually I put it a little bit high just because I wanted to make sure that we didn't get stuck somewhere. But even after I put it closer to what we actually got watt hour per mile, it still wasn't super accurate. I think it was about 10% battery off still. So kind of just take a Better Route Planner with a grain of salt. What I would do is I would use that website in conjunction with your maps in the car to get a pretty good gauge of how much battery you're going to have left and how far you can go. Another thing I didn't plan on was, as you saw on the trip in Folsom, it was super busy, and either I got a messed up stall, or what I think possibly could have happened is because there's so many people there, and I plugged in second, that basically I was getting leftover power from that circuit that I was on with the other supercharger. And so if you can, maybe you can talk on forums, or if you know people that live in the area, ask them if that particular station is super busy, and maybe you can plan that into your trip where you can try and avoid that busyness. That way you can get charged faster, because it did delay our trip, which means we wasted more time. So if you can try and avoid that, then that would obviously save you time during your road trip. So as you saw on the trip, we did bring our dog. And so if you're going to use dog mode, just be aware that you can't use dog mode and sentry mode at the same time. And so I kind of forgot about that. And so obviously if you have your dog in the car, he or she is going to set the alarm off. And so that's why you can't do both, obviously. And then of course, if the alarm does go off, it's going to probably make your pet's ears bleed, because, cats and dogs do have very sensitive hearing. So just remember that if you're going to bring up your pet with you on your trip. So this is like a heads up. So when I was over at State Line, we charged to almost full, about 250 out of 260 miles. And so what I kind of forgot was, when you're going downhill, you're obviously going to recharge. But since we went down 7,000 feet worth of elevation, I didn't realize how much charge that was going to give me back. And so basically there was a couple points where I actually had to brake, because the regen braking was so limited because the battery was so full. And so if you can factor that into your charge and not charge as much, then you can really use all your regen braking. And then obviously that's going to cost you less money, because then you don't have to charge up as much if you have to pay. And so for my particular case, going down the hill from South Tahoe, we drove that elevation decline was about 55 miles, and I got back about 30 miles worth of range. So I mean, it's going to be different for every single elevation and how far spread out it is, but just keep that in mind. And maybe you might not want to charge as much, so you can get that back in battery and not have to pay for it through the supercharger. And I also want to share some tips when I go on road trips. So the first one is going to be jack pads. So obviously make sure you have that. You can buy some online, or I actually made my own with hockey pucks, so I've got a link to that. And of course, you want to bring these because if you have a flat tire or something, the person who tows you is probably not going to have jack pads to lift the car up properly. So you want to make sure you have these. That way they can lift it properly and you don't damage your battery. Also want to bring an air pump. So just in case you get a flat tire, or maybe your tires just need some air, make sure you have that portable tire pump with you. I've actually had one instance where basically I needed to actually pump the tire up, not on this trip, but past experience where basically I needed to pump the tire up just to get down the street so I could get to the actual tire shop to get the tire fixed. So you obviously want to have that, because you don't want to be driving on a flat, because that's going to potentially ruin your rim and your tire. So it's always good to have that around in case you need extra air. Your mobile connectors are always good to have with you. So just in case you're destination charging, or maybe you find a 240 or a 120 plug that you can actually use for a while, bring that with you just in case, so you can charge if you need to and get a little bit of extra juice so you can make your way on your trip. And of course, on road trips, we know that we always are going to kill a zillion bugs. And we know that the Model 3 front end is a bug magnet. So make sure you have some sort of product to, wash that off if you need to during your trip, because you don't want to leave all those bugs on there. It's kind of ruin your front end and your paint. So I have my Wash Wax All that I use that's waterless, so you can use that. Or if you want to get a specific, bug getter offer type of product to get that off your paint, you definitely should do that. So make sure you always have that with you as well. So that's all the tips I have and the things I learned doing this road trip. So hopefully you found those helpful. And I'm just wondering, are you guys going to go on a road trip soon? And if you are, where are you going and how many stops do you have planned? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.